Bugs, Peter, Thumper, Roger, Hopsy Flopsy, Vanicula, Amirage, Frank. Let's talk about Rabbitfolk. Or the Harengon. Is that a joke? It's gotta be a joke, right? Did Polygon just not get the memo and decided to name it themselves? No? Okay, well, let's stick with BunnyFolk, or Viera's, or Rabbitfolk. Cat, you're not in this video. This is gonna be a new one for the videos. This video is about a race that is about to come out with the new Unearthed Arcana, folks of the Feywild. The Rabbitfolk depicted here are small and statured, have cute bunny faces and bunny feet, and are generally whimsical fey creatures that embody freedom and travel. My initial worry was that they were gonna be a very generic looking animal-faced halfling skin, Rabbitfolk skinned halfling. Technically that's correct, but that just doesn't sound right. The Rabbitfolk are small, and I would argue that they could probably play as a tiny Rabbitfolk, as they are fey, but at the same time, fey creatures can kind of do whatever the hell you want with their size. So if Bugs Bunny can walk around wearing Viking armor, I think it's safe to say that a medium-sized Rabbitfolk probably isn't too far of a stretch of the imagination. The Unearthed Arcana does have that their stats are going to be 2 of one and 1 of the other, which is kind of the basic rules for any custom race, and I don't know if there will be updates with the Wild Beyond The Witchlights in September, but I'm guessing not. I would go ahead and give them a +2 to dexterity because they're springy little rabbits, and because they are fey creatures, I would give you your choice of either wisdom or charisma. They get a basic 30-foot movement speed, 2 generic languages, bonus to perception rolls, which makes sense because they have the terrifying rabbit eyes and giant ears. And finally, the pun-based bonuses like Hair Trigger and Lucky Foot, which are actually pretty neat little additions. The proficiency bonus to initiative, as well as a bonus d4 to any failed dexterity saves. Not super game-breaking, but kind of interesting. The Rabbit Hop, kind of a letdown after the genius that came up with Hair Trigger. I mean, Bunny Hop would have been a bit on the nose, but I mean, that's a dance, right? The TikTok thing? I feel old. Back in my day, the only bunny hopping we did was across the battlefield to revive our new best teammates. Don't know how to use cover. Clear! This is a pretty cool move. Once during each of your turns, when you walk at least 5 feet, you can hop, rolling a d12 and move that many feet in a direction of your choice. The cool part about this is that its extra distance does not cost movement. And I think that's a pretty nice little diversion from giving someone with mobility feet or the charger feet. Kind of what we did with the red cap. This d12 is kind of strange. It's basically offset the chance that you can move 1 or 2 squares. I think there are some easier ways to do that, but it does weigh heavier to the moving at least 2 squares. I don't see why you can't just move up to 10 feet. Why the die roll? It might have something to do with the way that the spell jump multiplies your jumping distance, but there's so many ways to make a rocket tabaxi that I just don't see this being an issue. Who knows? It's actually a lot you can do with this bonus movement on your turn. Dodging obstacles, avoiding difficult terrain, making diving strikes from the sky like a dragoon. Have we talked about the Viera yet? Because we probably should. I would even go as far as to say upon like successful dexterity saves, maybe if you set off a trap or something, you could use that extra movement to reposition yourself after the fact. Not so much to like directly dodge something that's happening. If you do successfully dodge it with a reflex save, then I don't see why you couldn't reposition yourself with that movement before continuing to move. Say, dodging a pit trap. Maybe a giant boulder has kind of just started moving away, or dodging over difficult terrain. I think that's great. Now, I know everybody and their mother is playing Final Fantasy XIV right now, myself included. Which reminds me, I need to call my mom, see which server she's playing on. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Bunny girls. That was a terrible segue, but there it is. If the Velveteen Rabbit is on one end of the spectrum of the rabbit stew that is the flavoring we're using to make our bunny folk, that is to say, if it looks like a rabbit, sounds like a rabbit, probably tastes like a rabbit, that's not right. The Vieras are basically the other end of that spectrum. They're basically tall, sexy ladies with bunny ears and creepy clawed high-heeled bunny feet. I shit you not. Go ahead and look that up. Weird design choices aside, Dragoons are a pretty dope class that D&D could really take a lot of notes from. Diving from the sky, doing really high jumps, floor tanking. All of these things seem really well suited to a set of spear-wielding bunny folk. I totally get the base idea, but then Final Fantasy is just like, I don't know, put it on a hot babe. From the face side of things, I totally get this depiction, and I kind of like it. I think it works pretty well. So if you want to go ahead and give them that +1 charisma bonus and maybe start the game with a few fey cantrips or possibly the jump spells and spell-like ability, I think that would be a really cool addition, using that they look more humanoid because they are more fey inspired. And that kind of brings us to the end of the information that we have about bunny folk. I do think there are a lot of little variations we could go with based on their fey backgrounds and some pop culture shenanigans. There's a lot of wiggle room to blending from just, say, playing a magical bunny like the Almirage, which is basically a unicorn rabbit. It's a thing. You can look it up. What, you ain't got an Almirage? You just got some dopey rabbit? Doesn't even have horn. What kind of wizard familiar is that? Better question, what accent was that? Moving on. Moving from the full bunny end of the spectrum, you can go all the way over to the Viera, let's be honest, or just people with bunny ears. But hey, Final Fantasy XIV adding the bunny boys in the next patch is going to be pretty awesome. So, you got that to look forward to. I mean, let's think about Bugs Bunny for a minute. As a rabbit, he's way too OP, but as a fey creature, he's got a burrow speed, he can disguise self at will. That sounds pretty good. That makes total sense, right? Hell, if you really want to, you can just meme it up and go chunk his bunny from time to time using fey magic. That's pretty standard fare. What do you mean that's a dead meme? What about the no bugs meme? No? Regardless, you have some wiggle room with the BunnyFolk Fade. You can swap out hair trigger for some natural weapons like kicking or biting or, I don't know, unicorn gouging attacks. Fuck, rabbits are terrifying. If someone hasn't already made an Almirage Beast Barbarian, then they definitely should. Shit. Watership Down should really be classified as a horror movie. It's only a matter of time before bunnies realize that grass tastes like shit and we're all gonna get devoured by these tiny little unicorn demons. Their teeth never stop growing. Thanks for watching, everybody. A big thanks again to all the Patreon members who help support this channel, as well as everyone that hangs out on the Discord during the live streams. If you'd like access to the digital artwork or the digital tokens for this or any of the other videos, they are uploaded on the Patreon page for all of the active Patreon members. Check us out on Twitch. It's linked down below. Live streams usually start about 10 a.m. every weekday, and we just hang out and have some fun. As always, if you have a really cool story about BunnyFolk or Almirage or Final Fantasy XIV, leave it in the comments down below. The comments, likes, and subscribes do help this channel grow quite a bit. Make sure to hit that dingly bell so that you can stay up to date with all the new videos and artworks that we release on the channel. Remember to keep your dice on the table. If you really want to play something on par with the Rabbit of Carnabog, kill a rabbit from Monty Python. Just roll up a level 1 Almirage Monk, take the Tavern Brawler feat, Rabbit Feet, Almirage Foot, get some more about their bite. Just stay away from any holy hand grenades. Or play a bard. Yeah, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. What do you mean it's a dead meme? You just used it. What do you mean that's not how memes work?